This video is sponsored by PCBWay. PCBWay can do prototyping and manufacturing of PCBs, but they also offer CNC milling and 3D printing. Go give PCBWay.com a visit and let them know I sent you. Thanks, PCBWay. Did you know there's a thing called retail therapy? It's when you go shopping to feel better. Whatever happened to this world? Retail therapy? Come on! We're stuck in a consumption loop and we're looking for happiness in products. We're about to move to a farm, leaving the city life with the goal of becoming more self-sufficient and to have more freedom. And to have an amazing workshop, I hope. More about the workshop later on. So one of the reasons for moving here is to get out of the consumption loop we're in. I am certainly a victim of it. I mean, I am picking up Amazon packages every week. And I say it is because of my business, but in reality, it's because I'm a victim of the consumption loop. But in order to fully understand consumerism, let's do a history dive on this whole thing. So this is Peter. He is a farmer and he owns a goat. One day his goat has babies. Who is the father, you might ask? Well, we don't know. Not even Peter knows. But he's happy. Because this means that he can trade one of his goats for some fish. Because Bjorn has a lot of fish but no goats. Time passes and Peter is doing good on his goat farm. He now has 1,000 goats. And he can trade a lot of stuff with his goats. But he can't put his goats in the bank. So some really bright people come up with a plan to use money instead of goats. That way Peter can still trade his goat for some fish. But he can also get everything else that he needs. And whenever he has too much, he can store it on the bank. At some point in history, we needed something that symbolizes the actual value of money. You know, instead of goats. So we decided that thing should be gold. Because there's a limited amount of gold in the world and that way the value of money will stay the same. But that system crashed. So now, we have a system where the value of money is nothing. There's no gold behind the money and there's no goat either. There's only our belief that money is worth something. But then, what happens when we stop believing in the worth of money? Well, it crashes. The bubble will burst and all of a sudden, money will have no value at all. Because we believe in the value of money, we've started buying things that we don't have value for. We're buying houses with loans. We can't afford a house, so we need to lend the money. And since the money doesn't exist, the bank needs to make new money. Isn't that brilliant? So we buy a house, the bank makes new money, and with the money we make in the future, we can pay back that loan. And because we need to pay that mortgage, we need to work, and we're stuck. And since we're already working hard, we need to find another way of achieving happiness, and that is to spend money on other stuff, like a nice car, a summer vacation away from our house. Why not a summer and a winter vacation? And every time we buy something, a pair of new pants, we get that good feeling, a feeling of happiness. But it only lasts a short while, so we need to keep buying stuff in order to feel good. And we're stuck in a loop of consumerism. So this is a calf that the cow didn't want, so we have been bottle feeding it, and I think it's doing quite good now, so I hope it will survive. And this will eventually be my workshop. We have 2 big silos in here right now, and we need to get rid of those. I'm still overexposed. So this room is a part of the barn, and this will eventually be my workshop, but there's a lot of things to do. We need to remove those big silos. Someone is going to come and pick them up in a while, and yeah, there's a lot of things to do before this will be a proper workshop. I mean, there's so much stuff in here that we need to get rid of. But we have these old like hammers, so I can make handles for these and shape them up. Have a look. Those are quite cool. Just extremely rusty right now and heavy. So these are just massive silos, and the room actually continues behind this. So It's going to be a huge workshop, but the ceiling height is also really high. So I imagine myself having like a workshop downstairs and a small upstairs studio with editing possibilities and stuff like that. I hope. So in about 2 weeks' time, we're getting rid of the silos at least, and then we can start putting stuff in here because we need some storage before we move here to the farm because we have a lot of stuff and we also need to sell a bunch of that stuff because we don't need it. We have all too much crap. And right behind me is the house that we're going to renovate, and that's going to be the first thing I do before the workshop because we need a better place to stay than the summer house. So this is the main house of the farm, but we're currently staying in what we call the summer house, which is an old bees keeping house. It's just very good to live in, but it's a bit too small. So that is up there, and that is where we're staying right now. So in the meantime, I'll be using this as my workshop. So I need to get rid of stuff in here in order to put my stuff in here once we move. But this will be a great starting workshop for me. And I think I'll start by putting my workbench right here behind me. We need to keep buying stuff to feel good, and we need to work to be able to afford that and the mortgage on the house that the bank really owns. Did you know that the first iPhone was awarded the best phone before it was ever released? It's because the companies have us in a tight grip. We're queuing outside Apple stores, we're longing for the next fix of consumption, and I believe not enjoying all parts of life as much as we should. So my belief is that we need to get out of that consumption loop that we're in. Because I don't want to go to work for someone else my entire life to be able to pay for something that I don't own myself. I want to feel joy when I harvest potatoes instead of when getting a new package from Amazon. I don't want to go to a gym to sit on a bicycle together with other adults and an instructor that tells me we're going up a hill. I want to sit on a real bike outside and go up a real hill. I want to get a tan from the real sun in the summer, and I want to work hard, but for myself. I want to pay taxes in order to have the benefits of healthcare and security. The result of consumerism is that we're ruining the planet with unnecessary things. No one needs a fidget spinner. Well, apparently some do. Okay, so I'm going to try something new here. I won't be buying anything new for 2 months to start with. I'll be posting it on Instagram and I'll follow it up there as well and let you know how it goes. There is a small loophole in this. I can buy some old stuff if I sell something myself. And it should only be things that can be repurposed or reused instead of just being thrown away. So if this is something you will want to try, leave me a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, or if you want to try this thing out. My dream is of course to be doing this, YouTube, and renovating the house, growing my own food, and to buy less things from the store. Alright, so that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.